Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about and doing two looks with the new Natasha Denona Glam palette. I was able to snatch this up the day it came out, and then the shipping was super quick, so I'm actually able to get this up rather quickly. I didn't have to wait super long. So there is a quick look inside the palette. I'm sure you can, sure if you've watched other videos with swatches, better swatches than I could do, so I won't do those in this video, but instead I'm just going to do two looks and kind of give you some first impressions and thoughts on this palette. So if you want to see how I did these two different eye looks here, then let's get started. Alright, so a little bit different setup here. I already did my makeup for the day. This beautiful palette came in, and I decided to bang out two looks with one palette and then get it up overnight because I've never gotten a palette this quickly before when I've ordered it when it's new. So I wiped off my makeup that I had on today. I applied a little bit of concealer and I applied my Hard Candy eye primer. To set it, I've been doing something a little different that I want to share with you. Because I don't want to say mature lids, but lids that are getting up there in texture and you don't want to have too many layers. You want to go in with lighter layers. So I've been taking this shade right here from the Ambient Lighting palette, and it's the finishing powder in Dim Light. I don't like that on my skin tone. It makes my skin look dry, so I've repurposed it and I'm now using it as a base on top, like to set my primer. And I find this helps give the shadows. It doesn't give a heavy layer for the shadows to stick to, so it doesn't accentuate any more texture is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so I did that. Now I'm going to create a smokier look on this side, and I'm going to go in with a lighter look on this side. So, what do I want to start with? You know what? Let's start with this color here. It's called Crease. I watched Natasha Denona Instagram tutorial earlier on today, and I noticed that when she was showing her palette, the shade Transition was on this side, like it was flipped. I thought that was extremely interesting. I don't know if anyone else noticed that or anyone else saw that on her Instagram, but I'm going to go in with a slightly fluffier brush. This one's from Anastasia, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that crease shade, tap it off. And this is my very first time using this palette, so it's like first impression all the way. I only swatched a few of the shades just to see like what the lighter colors were that I was working with. I wasn't going to buy this palette, but a couple of the shades spoke to me. Like I mean it's a cooler palette. I don't have a lot of cooler tones, so I thought this would be a nice addition. I mean, if I don't like it, I will just take it back. But this gold color called my name, that color called my name, and so did that one. And I was like, you know what, I don't have a lot of like lighter neutral colors on the cooler side. I have a lot on the warmer side. So I thought this would be a nice way to dip my toes into cooler eyeshadows. I've also been into slightly more neutral looks lately. Like, I don't know what is wrong with me or who I am anymore, but it is what it is. So I thought this would be a nice addition. And like I said, I mean, I'm trying not to spend a lot of money on makeup anymore, but like I said, if I didn't like this, it would be going back. But it's an everyday palette, well, for me. And yeah, if I don't get a lot of use out of it, then, excuse me, I'm drinking a beer because it's Friday night. Sorry, I'm just getting thirsty. Alright, so that transition shade went on really smooth. I really like it actually. It's not, didn't go on patchy at all. It was a nice starter shade for building up what I want to do next. And I think I'm going to take the shade Smoke, and I'm going to take that on a different brush, slightly more dense, less fluffy. And I'm going to take that on the inner part right here, just to start to create some depth. And I'm going to take that a little bit onto the outer edge as well. It's really interesting doing makeup when your eyelashes are already done. Usually I have nothing on my eye, so this is extremely interesting. We'll see how the final look turns out. And Sebastian is in a new spot in this new room. He's right there. I don't really want to turn the camera because I have the angle set up perfectly right now. But he's right behind me, so if he wants to come on me... Oh, there he is. I had to take him to the vet today. He wasn't feeling well yesterday, so he's a little on the stressed out side. We're just going to have a nice, calm, relaxing evening. Got him some medication. Anyways, okay. What's next? I'm going to take a little bit of that smoke shade on a slightly even smaller brush, this one right here. And I'm just going to take it on the outer part. I don't know how smoky I want this to get. I guess I can just take it all the way and see how it goes. And by all the way, I mean like the darkest shade possible, which is the lash line color. That one there, so working with that one right here, it's like a medium tone brown. Which, I mean, for a cooler tone, I know cooler tones are kind of hard to work with, but for cooler tones, these are going on really well. And for like a neutral, I want to call myself a neutral novice, but for someone who's not really used to working with neutral shades, this is turning out, I kind of really like the way this is turning out. Okay, excuse the sound, I'm trying to find another brush. Alright, even smaller brush now. I'm going to go in with that lash line shade. And I'm going to take it on the outermost corner over here. Getting just a smidge bit of fallout, but usually I do my face makeup last. This is not normal for me to do my face makeup first. Okay. So I like how it's like got a smoky vibe, but it's not so dark and so black that like it scares you off, and it's not like, I'm liking this a lot. Okay, what am I going to go in with? I kind of really want to try this shade here called Outer Lid. It's like, sometimes I don't like touching them before I go in with the brush. But it's like a taupey brown color. I kind of want to try that all over the lid and then see if I can layer like a lighter color on the front. So what I'm going to do, because I use, actually, let's go in without glitter glue and see what we can get. I usually always use glitter glue, so this might be unfair. I think it's more of a sheer color, because it seems like it. So I'm thinking glitter glue might be the answer. Actually, no, yeah, let's keep it simple, because I have small eyes. If I start putting more than one shade on my lid, you're not going to be able to tell what is what. So I'm just tapping a little bit of glitter glue onto the lid and overlapping it slightly onto the darker corner out there. And then I'm going to go back into the outer lid shade, picking some up on the brush. And I'm going to tap it on. I'm going to wipe off my brush before I dip back in, because I don't want any of the glitter glue to get into the eyeshadow and create hard pan. And I'm not going to bring it all the way to the inner. I'm just going to bring it about, leave like a quarter of the lid left. And on my lid, that's not very much space because I have small eyes. But this is a really pretty shade. I really like it, actually. So far, I'm impressed with this palette. And like, I'm not really like, I mean, I guess I'm becoming more of a neutral lover, which is weird for me. Taking more of that smoke shade and just tapping it on the outer edge. And I'm going to take my fluffier brush and go into smoke again, tapping it off and just bringing it up here a little more just to blend things together. Okay, now for the innermost corner, I'm going to take this tiny brush here and I'm going to go into center of the eye. That would be pretty. Or center of the eye. Pink or gold? Okay, let's do the bottom row, center of the eye. It's like a light champagne-y color. I'm just picking that up on the brush. And I'm going to tap that onto the inner corner here and just blend blending it up into the other color. It's pretty. I like it. It's a little more, I feel like it's slightly more intense than the one, the outer eyelid. But I'm going to take this brush here, go into it, and I'm just going to bring it up more and overlap it just to blend. And then I'm going to wipe it off and I'm going to go into the center, outer eyelid again. And I'm just going to tap that over top more of the lash line shade that I put on the outer corner. And that might be it for this look here. Let me just take a little bit of that crease shade and a bit of the transition shade here. I'm just taking these two, tapping off the brush, and I'm just gonna bring that in here just to blend that together. Taking the transition shade and just taking some on the outer edge here just to, I really want to see what that shade does. Cool. I like it. Now, let's just take a pencil brush, and I'm going to go into this brow bone shade. It's like a light, it's actually pretty pigmented for a brow bone shade. But actually, you know what, I'm going to go in with a slightly less dense, slightly fluffier. Wiping it off. I'm going to go into that lightly, and I'm going to place that onto the brow bone. Now for me, this brow bone shade might be a little bit too dark for what I prefer, but it's nice to test it out. Where's my brush? I'm just going to take this brush here and go in to a little bit of crease and a little bit of transition, and I just want to add a little bit out here, just to blend. Alright, I think that looks nice. I think I'm happy with it. Alright, usually I would, you know, if this was a daytime look, anytime look, I would apply eyeliner. I'm not going to apply liquid eyeliner because I have been using pencil eyeliner a lot more recently. So let me just flip my mirror over so I can go into my magnified. I'm just going to apply a little bit just to the outer corner here. And you know what? I'm going to take my little angle brush here. I'm going to go into Lash Line, the shade that says Lash Line, and I'm going to go over that just to set it. And then I have a little bit of fallout from doing that, so I'm just going to brush it away. Alright, let's hurry this up here because I'm pretty sure I'm gabbing away. Alright, for the inner corner, I'm going to take, what am I going to take? Let's take the center eyelid shade that I use for the innermost corner. I'm going to go in with a slightly more dense brush, slightly more fluffier brush, just to help diffuse the color out. And I'm going to take that a little more into the center corner because that's how I like my looks. Alright, not bad, not bad. For the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with my pencil brush, and I'm going to take the shade Smoke. I'm going to apply that on the outer edge. Taking my fluffy brush here and just connecting those two together so it doesn't look weird. I have not been bringing my eyeshadow as far down lately because I feel like if I want to give myself, like, you know, like a little bit of an eye lift to keep it up here and it looks nice. Alright, for the inner corner, let's just keep it the same and go in with the center eye shade. Yep, I just did that. Inner corner. Let's go in with the inner corner shade right here. This beautiful light pink color here. I like it, but I feel like I need to stick with the gold. So dipping back into the gold. Just going to mix a little bit of that in with it. Going back into Smoke just a teensy bit. And you can bring this down as far as you want. For me, it doesn't flatter my look to go down that far. I really could have used a little bit of concealer there, but you get the idea, right? Sorry, am I moving too much for you? There you go. Alright, just tapping a little bit of concealer just to help it look like a little better. Alright, perfect. I'm just going to take a little bit of concealer on the other side, so when I do the other eye, it's not going to look weird. Right. And then, let me take a little bit of my Lash Blast mascara for the lower lash line. I usually like my inner corner to be a little bit brighter, so this, actually, there's a silver right there. Let's take the silver. Even though I use gold, I don't know. Alright, so inner corner in the middle row, right there. I'm taking that and I'm putting it in the inner corner on top. Okay, so it's not too cool. That's not bad. Alright, so I took it over top of the inner corner of the top. So I basically just layered both the inner corner, the pink one and the silver one. And it gave the effect that I like for my inner corners. So that's perfect. Alright, now for lower lash mascara. Touch up the top lashes. Alright, and that is look number 1 complete. Let me zoom in real quick. Not bad, I think. Alright, now let's move on to look number 2. I'm just going to scooch my things over so I'm facing the other way on the camera. Okay, so for this look, I'm going to go more gold. I used just a little bit of gold, but I used more taupes on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with, because I mean there's not many matte colors in here, so I'm going to start off with the shade Smoke. And I'm going to take that on this brush here, my MAC, I don't know which one it is, tap it off, and I'm just going to take it, I'm going to try not to go, I mean, too smoky, but what's too smoky? Kind of just want to play with the gold here on the palette, see what it does for me. Alright, I'm going to take the shade, actually I'm going to go with a fluffier brush. Just want it a little bit more blown out. Part of me hates playing with newer palettes, just because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know if the look's going to turn out good or not, but I guess, I mean, this is a perfect time to experiment. I'm not really going anywhere. Alright, wiping the brush off, I want to see what this transition shade does up here. The lightest color. It's like a gray. Cool, it just like blends things together. Not bad at all. Alright, I'm going to go with that crease shade again. I'm going to take it in here. I don't really know what I'm doing. Going in with more of the smoke. I'm trying not to create this too smoky, but at the same time, like, I can't help myself. I mean, what do you want me to do with basically an all brown palette? I don't know. Alright, going back in with my glitter glue. I'm going to go with my finger. Beautiful color. Look at that. It's so pretty. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to go in with my brush again. That's a nice shade. I like it. I've been really into golds these last couple weeks, like golds and peaches. Which brings me to my next. This palette is growing on me a lot more, guys. The Pat McGrath one. I actually use it today, and every time I don't know what I want to do with my makeup, I find myself reaching for it. That in the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. So, yeah, that's cool. Okay, just taking this fluffy brush with nothing on it just to blend out that gold there. Kind of brought it up a little bit too high, but that's okay. Alright, then I'm going to take, I'm going to blend it out with a little bit of blend. Great. Okay, I kind of like where this is going. It's not too scary. It's not too gold. It's different. Alright, what do I want to take? You know what? I'm going to take a little bit of center eyelid because it's a little lighter than brow bone. So I'm going to take a little bit of center eyelid on my fluffier brush, which gives slightly less pigment. And I'm going to take that on the brow bone just to see what it does. Gives a little bit of a sheen, not a ton. I'm going to go back in with the shade Crease, just to bring it up just a little bit. Like, I don't want it to be smoky, but I do want to have something up there. And I'm liking the way that is. Okay. Do I want to touch it more or do I want to just leave it? I'm going to go in with a little bit more blend. Taking it here. You know what? No, I don't want to go in with any more. Do I want to take something on the outer edge? You know what? Just because we're playing with the palette, I want to see what this can do. I'm going with the gold, the brown next to center eyelid. So I'm going to go in with this color, outer eyelid, which is exactly where I'm going to put it. But I'm going to take it on a smaller brush. I'm taking my pencil brush here. I don't know how pigmented this is, so we will see. Like, I want to keep it somewhat brighter. At the same time, I kind of want to see what this does. So, okay, I like. All right, that's pretty. Gives a little bit of definition. Can you guys see that there? Not much, but you know, just a little bit. Kind of brings it a little darker. Again, I don't want to close off the outer edge of the eye, but I want to see what this does. Oh, all right, it's going to dust away a little bit of fallout from that. And I think I'm good to go. I'm going to apply a little bit of my eyeliner here. Alright, perfect. I'm not going to bother going over that this time. Okay, for the inner corner, I'm going to go in with that brush again and take the shade. Let's go with center eyelid or brow bone. They're both almost so similar. I'm going to go with center eyelid. It's a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to take it right here because y'all know that I like to put a color there to help transition everything from the inner corner. Alright. Silver? No. What are we going to do for there? See, this is where I like to bring in another palette because what I want for that part isn't there. I guess I'll just use the same thing on the other side that I did. I'm just going to brighten that back up again. I mean, it wasn't a super cool shade. There's a silver shade next to it that's slightly cooler. Okay, not bad. See, this is center eyelid, and that's inner corner. See how the silver is a lot more cool and this is a lot more warm? So that works. I feel like this side is the cooler side and this side's the slightly warmer side. Yep. Okay. Lower lash line. Do I want to put pink? I don't know if I want to put pink or not. Let's go with the brow bone shade, but I do want to add a little bit of something to help it stick. I'm going to go with my Laura Mercier metallic taupe. And then I'm taking that small brush there, I'm taking that brow bone shade, and I'm going to apply it right over top. Yeah. I hear you. I'm almost done. I think he wants to cuddle. Okay, that was nice. It's a lighter gold than the one I used on the lid. I'm just going to take a little bit of the outer eyelid, and I'm going to deepen that up with it. Okay, going in with brow bone again. Okay, going in with mascara here. Good thing my blush kind of matches both looks, eh? I wonder how this setup is. I feel like this is a better setup than what I had before. I feel like it's easier to stay in frame. Okay. So that completes that look. Let me zoom in on that eyeball. Alright, so we have the gold on the top. Ugh, get the mirror out of the way. More gold, and we have a more cool tone there. Cooler tone, smokier eye. Let me zoom you out. Alright, let me zoom you out even more, because you're too close. Okay, so that is my 2 looks using one palette. I like it. I need to experiment with this more and use more of the colors in other ways. I kind of want to use the pinks on their own all over the eyelid. I do want to bring in another palette because for me, again, I have a really hard time staying with one palette. My vision is not like most people's, but that's okay. First impressions, I do like this palette. I think it's fun to have in my collection. I need to play with it a little bit more to decide if I'm going to keep it, if it's different enough for me to have spent the money on it, to add to what I already have. I know I do have gold tones in other palettes. I also have some pinks. But the cool tones really were the ones that kind of like drew me in because I don't have a lot of cool tones. So yeah, I'm going to try and play with this some more. And stay tuned to see if I decide to keep this or not. But thank you very much for watching. And you guys will see me in my next video. Bye!